Rabies causes more than 59,000 human deaths every year, and unvaccinated dogs are the main source of human rabies deaths, contributing up to 99% of rabies transmissions to humans, according to the World Health Organization. This is very concerning, because not only can these deaths be prevented through proper vaccinations, but also because of the ever-growing anti-vaxxer movement that is on the rise, with pet owners refusing to vaccinate their pets, simply because of a lack of understanding of how vaccines actually work. So in light of the upcoming World Rabies Day, I made this video to stress the importance of vaccinations in your pets, and I will also dig deep into the common misperceptions and controversial debates surrounding vaccines in pets, so make sure to watch this video all the way through to the end. In the human medicine world, parents are often misled by faulty science inflamed by social media and Hollywood celebrities that childhood immunizations are unsafe for their children. This has now spilled over to the world of pets, leaving many animals unvaccinated, posing a danger to both the health and well-being of their own and to those who are in direct contact with them. Now, it is really important to first understand what vaccines are and how they actually work. So let's start with the basics. Very young animals are highly susceptible to infectious diseases because their immune system is not yet fully mature. They receive protection through antibodies in the mother's milk, called colostrum, but the protection is not long lasting and there may thus be gaps in the protection, called the window of susceptibility, as the milk antibodies decrease while their immune system is still maturing. Maternal antibodies can also interfere with a puppy or kitten's vaccine response. So a series of vaccines is usually recommended in order to ensure that a puppy or kitten receives a vaccine as early as possible after the maternal antibodies subside. Vaccines help prepare the body's immune system to fight off the invasion of disease-causing organisms. Vaccines contain antigens, which basically looks like the disease-causing organism to the immune system, but it doesn't actually cause a disease. So when the vaccine is introduced to the body, the immune system is mildly stimulated, so that if the pet is ever exposed to the real disease, his immune system is now prepared to recognize and fight it off entirely, or at least reduce the severity of the illness. In most instances, the first dose of vaccine serves to prime the animal's immune system to a certain virus or bacteria, while subsequent doses help further stimulate the immune system to produce important antibodies needed for long-term protection. Now, depending on where you live and how high the chances are that your pet will be exposed to certain diseases, some vaccinations will be considered to be core and others as non-core. In general, the core vaccines for dogs are canine parvovirus, canine distemper, canine infectious hepatitis, and rabies. And for cats, it will be feline herpes virus, feline calicivirus, feline panleukopenia, and rabies. And the non-core vaccines for dogs are canine parainfluenza, canine influenza, Lyme disease, leptospirosis, and Bordetella bronchiseptica. And for cats, it will be feline immunodeficiency virus, feline leukemia, Chlamydia phyllis, and also Bordetella bronchiseptica. The general recommendation is that puppies should be vaccinated for the first time at 6 weeks and kittens at 8 weeks of age. They then have to receive at least 2 booster vaccinations thereafter with monthly intervals. The rabies vaccination can only be given to puppies or kittens that are at least 3 months old, after which the booster vaccination needs to be given anything from 1 to 6 months later. And if you have an adult dog without any vaccination records, they should also get a rabies shot. After the initial 3 vaccinations, vets generally recommend that pets are vaccinated on a yearly basis. Newer research does suggest that every 3 years should be sufficient though, and this is where the whole debate regarding the concern of over-vaccinations in pets comes in. The important thing to remember is that your pet's annual visit to the vet does not only include an injection, but also a general checkup where the vet could potentially pick up abnormalities early on that can be treated accordingly in order to prevent expensive, severe and devastating diseases later on. Most pets show no ill effect from vaccinations, but as with any medical procedure, vaccinations could have some potential side effects that can cause mild symptoms due to the stimulation of the immune system. This can range from soreness at the injection site to fever and allergic reactions that might require veterinary intervention. Other far less common side effects, including injection site tumors and immune-mediated diseases, have also been reported, but this is extremely rare. You have to realize that the likelihood of a dangerous reaction is very low. whereas the likelihood of your pet developing a life-threatening disease if he is not vaccinated is much higher. Some pet owners and holistic veterinarians advocate for running antibody titers before revaccinating, which are basically blood tests that measure the amount of antibodies against a specific disease in the blood. This does make sense in theory, but the problem with this is, firstly, it is much more expensive than a normal vaccine shot. Secondly, it is not as accessible, especially in third world countries. And thirdly, veterinarians cannot always be certain that a specific concentration of antibodies in the blood is always protective, or that a lower concentration of antibodies leaves an animal unprotected. This causes serological testing to be unpractical, and that is why most veterinarians do not really incorporate them into their vaccination protocols. And now to get to the controversy behind vaccines in pets. I'm sure you are familiar with the anti-vaxxer movement, where people claim that vaccines causes autism in children. Well, thanks to a tweet from Good Morning Britain in 2018, this has now become a concern in pet owners as well. This escalated so far that the British Veterinary Association had to issue a statement to debunk this myth. But, you know, some people still won't listen. Now, the other main concern is that over-vaccination of pets leads to immune-mediated diseases. The scientific data for this claim is still inconclusive, and even though I do agree that some vaccines do not have to be given every year, it is not always possible to implement this strategy. I do understand that many first world countries are able to follow the rules by the book, but in most third world countries, it simply does not work like that. Rural veterinarians in third world countries such as parts of Africa and Asia where rabies are most prevalent do not really have a choice and needs to vaccinate every single dog they can find against rabies, regardless if they were vaccinated maybe a year or two ago. When faced with a decision to either potentially save pets and children from a deadly disease, or to be scared that one pet in 1,000 might develop some serious adverse effects, I'm sure that you'll agree that the choice is rather easy. The anti-vaxxer trend is dangerous, and I believe that the biggest contributing factor to this trend is paradoxical. That vaccines have been so successful at controlling animal diseases that many people have no idea of how terrible those diseases can be. And thus the attention has shifted to the small risk of vaccine-associated adverse reactions. Rabies is a death sentence, and you do not want to witness someone suffering or dying from this disease. Trust me. Every pet owner who does not vaccinate a dog contributes to endangering a great many other dogs, and possibly humans too. What I want you to take away from this video is that vaccines have saved millions of lives within the last century. And they really do play a vital role in the prevention of serious infectious diseases and the costs associated with it. It is never fun to have to witness the suffering and death of your beloved puppy or kitten. As a trusted and loyal companion, your dog and cat depends on you to keep them healthy. The WHO, FAO, OIE and Global Alliance for Rabies Control have launched the global anti-rabies initiative called United Against Rabies, which coordinates worldwide efforts to achieve the global goal of 0 human rabies deaths by 2030. These organizations have done tremendous work so far, and if you are interested in finding out more, I will make sure to leave a link in the description. Thank you for watching this video. Become part of the solution by sharing this video with your friends and your family so that you can help grow an international community of responsible pet ownership. Vaccinations in pets is a hotly debated topic, so please feel free to let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. And if you are new to my channel, consider subscribing, as I'll be posting new videos on interesting pet-related topics every week. As always, have a lekker day, and I'll see you in another video next week. Cheers!